what's up pups, it's Vixie. I hope you're having a great day and hope it only gets better. Welcome to the first episode of a new series. Now that I'm finally done with Doodle Vixie, the little paper doll you're seeing right now, I can properly put together this video as I intended. You've already seen the title, so let's jump into it. Welcome to Vixie's Pokemon Ultra Moon Randomizer Nuzlocke. Just a few things to cover before we get into the video itself. Firstly, this series was inspired by the Game Grump's own Pokemon Platinum Grumplock. What do I mean by that, since I'm not playing Platinum? Well, if any of you have seen any episode of that series, you'll know,
Oh, that's not good, that's not good, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Are you starting to get concerned?
Well, I didn't want her to switch shit out, and I would have just switched to Kadabra. But now if I switch out to Kadabra, it's gonna hit Kadabra, and who knows what'll happen.
Oh my god.
I have to do it.
Pray to God.
There's no way I'm gonna get one-shotted. Okay, Grass Knot sucks. Okay, Grass Knot doesn't suck!
My God! Bro, we suck.
How did I know it was gonna be a fucking critical hit? Right when I switch in on a level 22! I would have never known that! Fuck!
yeah, it's not going great. The short version is I was so aghast at the events of the Grumplock so far that I wanted to start my first ever Nuzlocke run to try and cleanse my brain as someone who knows substantially more about the fundamentals of Pokemon. No hate to Game Grumps or Aaron, of course. I've still watched every episode of the Grumplock so far even. It's just funny to me that I'm finally one of the people in their comment section that microanalyzes everything Aaron's doing because he's playing a game I know about. Regardless, inspiration citation aside, let's very quickly break down the fundamentals of what a Nuzlocke run is for those of you who might not know. If you're already a Nuzlocke pro, feel free to skip to this timestamp to jump right over the explanation. For the rest of you, here's a rundown on the basics. Rule number 1, permadeath. Any Pokemon that faints must be released or boxed permanently. Fainting during a Nuzlocke means death, and you'll never get to use that specific Pokemon again. Rule number 2, only the first wild Pokemon you encounter in a new area can be caught. If you fail to catch it, whether it faint or run away, you lose the ability to catch a Pokemon in that area. We'll come back to this specific rule in a second, but that's one of the fundamental rules of a Nuzlocke. Rule number 3, you must nickname all of the Pokemon you catch or otherwise obtain. This is to help you get attached to your team and make it that much more heartbreaking if they die. I already name all of my Pokemon, so this rule is a given. Those are the basic rules for a Nuzlocke. However, there's just a few little clauses and caveats we need to cover first. Clause number 1, if the first Pokemon you encounter in an area is a species you already have, you can keep looking until you find a new Pokemon. This just serves to prevent you from having an entire team of Bidoof or something. Clause number 2, if you encounter a shiny Pokemon, you are free to catch it even if you've already encountered a Pokemon in that area. Shiny Pokemon are rare enough as it is. It would be pretty devastating if you found a shiny Rockruff when you already used your one catch on a Yungoos. Hi, welcome back. Now that everyone's caught up, let's get into some specifics about my personal run. Firstly, as the title suggests, this is a randomizer run, meaning every Pokemon in the game has been randomized to be any Pokemon that existed prior to Generation 8, given that this is the last game in Generation 7. Not only can it be any old Pokemon you know and love, it also includes Legendaries, Mythicals, Mega Evolutions, and any other special unique forms of said Pokemon. But Vixie, won't you being able to permanently have a Mega Evolved Pokemon skew the balance and delete the difficulty? It would, yes, if the NPCs weren't following the exact same guidelines and rules as I am. That's right, we're on an even playing field. Youngster Joey can have a Mega Rayquaza, and I'll just have to figure it out if that happens. Next is a caveat that I made for the 1 Pokemon per area rule. If I fail to catch a Pokemon, I get exactly 1 mulligan per area to capture that Pokemon again. I think it'll be a lot more fun if I actually have a selection of random Pokemon to choose from, so it'd be really disappointing if I lose out on an entire route because I came across a Pineco that uses self-destruct or something. That being said, my second chance must be used to catch that same species of Pokemon. I cannot use it to catch the next random Pokemon I encounter instead. Thirdly, I will not be speeding up my own gameplay or using a turbo mode to make the game go by faster when, for example, I'm grinding levels for my team. I want this to feel as genuine to a real Pokemon run as I can, so that means we have the genuine experience when we need to grind. Also, using turbo in a Nuzlocke is wildly dangerous because it's easy to get complacent and accidentally get one of your Pokemon killed because you weren't paying attention. Though, of course, you're watching the edited video version of this run, so you'll get the Cliff Notes version regardless. Lastly, this one is less so a hard rule and more so just an additional note for my own approach to this run. I will refrain from looking up anything as much as possible. As someone who's played every mainline Pokemon game, it's important that I do my utmost to only go off of the fundamental knowledge I have of how Pokemon works. The only time I'll ever look something up is if, for example, I have genuinely no clue where I'm supposed to go next and cannot progress. However, in this first episode, I'm not really acclimated to this rule yet, so I do occasionally fact check myself. That being said, Gen 7 is also when they first started pointing you in the direction you're supposed to go, so I don't really see me getting stuck at any point. This soft rule is just here to stop me from looking up things like the base stat total of a Pokemon to see if I have to make a switch or something. I better know what a Pokemon is good at, and if I can take them, because that might cost me a Pokemon if I'm not careful. With all of that minutia out of the way, we are ready to head into the run, but just one more thing to do before we go. I promise it's quick. If this video ends up doing well, I will be live streaming every time I record a new episode of this Nuzlocke, meaning you can be there live to experience it with me before the edited video goes up. If this video gets, I don't know, 10 likes, I'll live stream the next however many episodes. Also, if you really want it, make sure to leave a comment saying something like, oh please, funny internet yote, I do hope we shall be able to join you on this pocket monster playthrough of random occurrences. I would be ever so joyous should that come to fruition. Or, you know, something marginally more sane. Anyway, with a quick shout out to my patrons, let's get on to the video. As any run of Ultramoon does, we start our adventure with a video call from professional hunkman Professor Kukui. He gives us our Pokemon game intro spiel, informs us about the region, and with a brief cameo for my third favorite Pokemon and spirit animal, the call comes to an end. We are then treated to a bout of astral projection and are plagued with visions of a girl with immaculate fashion sense being chased by some randos with worse fashion sense before being vaporized by a smiler from that one level of the backrooms. That live leak video ushers us into the game proper and our adventure properly begins. Our mom basks under the light of the pale blood moon and has a psychotic break that has her talking to our cat, which then quickly runs to inform me of my mother's fate, destined to kill werewolves and bug people before ultimately turning into a squid. I then scramble around my room in a desperate attempt to find a sock cleaver. First things first. There we go, much better. But find myself empty-handed and opt to flee into the wilds for my own safety. Unfortunately, I'm soon stopped by a wild mongoose and all of the violence it entails. I am then mauled in a 5-minute long cutscene showing every graphic detail and the game comes to a close. Nah, but for real. Ultramoon intro. I get jumped by a young goose and I'm saved by the 3 starters. Of course, this is a randomizer, so our starters are a bit different. Instead of Rowlet, Litten, and Poplio, my favorite, we instead get our choice of Bergmite, Herdier, and Lycanroc. Really? Oh! I feel like we all know which one I'm going with, but the interesting thing is that the game doesn't tell me which form of Lycanroc it is. Bergmite would be really interesting, just having an absolute tank of a Pokemon to start with. Herdier is here, but I think picking the fully evolved Pokemon here is probably the best idea. I'm going with Lycanroc, just outright, I'm going with Lycanroc. Lycanroc works hard, makes some pretty awesome balloons. I doubt it. Rock-type Pokemon Lycanroc. Yes, sir. Ooh, Midnight Lycanroc. Okay, it's not Dusk form, but I absolutely mess with this. And he's a male. All right, what's your name gonna be? I can't name him Draco because Draco is what I name my Dusk form Lycanrocs. With Charlie now on our team, we officially have our first Pokemon. Now, the astute of you may have noticed a very immediate issue with our starter choice. While yes, Lycanroc is fully evolved and therefore has higher stats than a normal starter would at this level, Lycanroc is a mono rock type. For those of us uninitiated, rock type is a very offensive type, but has a laundry list of weaknesses, meaning that Charlie is threatened by many Pokemon. Starting with a rock type, something so vulnerable to literally everything, is definitely less than ideal, as we will soon see, but I'm going to do my utmost to keep Charlie safe. Alright, moment of truth. Is Charlie good? Vital Spirit. We didn't get No Guard. Okay, maybe that's his hidden ability then. He's got a neutral nature at least, so at least it's not a bad thing. Vital Spirit is definitely still helpful because it means we can't be put to sleep at least, so that's good. Moreover, I'm just happy we got a Lycanroc as our first Pokemon. That's dope as heck. I was entirely expecting not to ever see a Rockruff in this entire game, which would have been devastating. However, we have Charlie. Technically not, you know, Rockruff, but I mean, Charlie here is going to be our heavy hitter, our big strong buddy. Okay, there we go. Nidoqueen. Cool, good to know. That's really unfortunate because I'm at a type disadvantage. It's fine, don't worry about it. She is very thick. I don't think she knows a ground type move yet, so we're probably fine. It is very good to know that Nidoqueen is on this first route though, because that means it's possible that I get another Pokemon I really, really like in our team. I would love to have Nidoqueen. Poison Point! The Nidoqueen immediately poisoning Charlie reminded me that Ultramoon lets you cure a Pokemon after a battle using Pokemon Refresh, which I proceed to utilize for the rest of this episode. However, going forward, I don't think I'm going to be using this feature, and I'll just cure my Pokemon the old-fashioned way, because this does feel a little bit cheaty. Regardless, we continue up the trail and eventually bump into our rival for the game, Hao. He's as enthusiastic as ever, and seems excited to get into things, so he ends up picking up Litten as his starter. However, this is a randomizer, so a question comes to mind. So that should be Herdier. He should have Herdier, so I'm fine. I didn't consider for a second that, oh yeah, he would have the other one. Either way, I picked the right one because, you know, he would have had a Bergmite and I would have been a type advantage. But that is still a whole ass Avalugg I would have to eventually get through. And it's also entirely possible that it could be I'm not sure if he'll have Herdier or if it'll be a separate random thing. We're gonna find out though. I hope it's Herdier, or if it's not, something weaker. He's sending out. That's a problem. That's a big problem. I don't, that is a fighting water type. Yes, that is a water fighting type, and yes, that is a problem. It's also a mythical Pokemon, so this fight goes about as well as you'd expect. I still give it the good old college try, but ultimately, I am defeated. Charlie goes down, and we're done for. Thankfully, there is a rule I neglected to mention. The Nuzlocke run does not officially start until you are able to catch Pokemon, so don't worry. Charlie is alive and well. Hao and Keldeo helped us show the problem with starting with a rock type, and we make nice, and I continue onward. I like how I was super pumped with the fact that I got a Midnight Lycanroc as my starting Pokemon. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy, and then I get slapped with a fucking mythical Pokemon. We eventually make our way up the trail and have another premonition of that fashionable girl and her pet Smiler. Except it's not a psychotic break this time, and she's actually there in front of us. The Smiler turns out to be a Cosmog in need of saving from a flock of Spearow. Of course, we move to assist and get attacked by one of the Spearow. However, as you may have figured, it's not a Spearow because this is a randomizer run. Spearow or no, gonna find out. Can I stop with the water fighting types, please? Luckily, I had one potion to tip the scales and was able to defeat the second water fighting type of this run, coincidentally giving Charlie some attack EVs to boot and making him just that bit stronger. A brief fur care session and we're off to save Nebby the Cosmog. Thankfully, we only had to fight the Poliwrath that came for us, but we do end up getting exploded and falling to our doom. Luckily, the Island Guardian Tapu Koko comes to the rescue before ore farming and flying off into the sky. From there, we get properly introduced to Lily and she gives us a sparkling stone, which will become very important down the road. She's still a little spooked after what happens, so we opt to see her back to Iki Town, where we learn that Lily is Professor Kukui's assistant. You know what's really weird about, you know, the 3DS and all this Pokemon being Pokemon from this era and everything? It doesn't make me want to go back and play more old Pokemon. It makes me want to play Fossil Fighters, and I don't know why. The island's Kahuna then shows up, and we learn a little bit about Tapu Koko, feeling just that little bit extra special that it came to save us. More importantly, we get the most vital part of Ultramoon, and something that's definitely not the most annoying thing in this game. Oh yes, exactly what I was hoping for. God, I love Rotom decks, yeah! From there, Hao shows up again, and Kahuna Hala spots the sparkling stone of ours, which he then informs us is a gift left by Tapu Koko after it saved us, meaning we're special or whatever. Regardless, I'm tuckered out, so I head back home to my mom, who seems to have not lost herself to the old blood just yet, so we're safe to lie down for another night. And on tonight of all nights, what a mess we've been caught up in. The next morning, Kukui arrives at our house and invites us off to show us how to catch some Pokemon. Kukui gives us the all too long tutorial video of him catching a Grubbin as slowly as possible, then gives us a big old bag of Pokeballs, meaning the run has officially started. From here, all rules are active and shit gets real. Alright, the Nuzlocke has officially started and I am terrified. I wanted to check if this route was different than the trail I'd followed before, but a Jabroni and his Tauros are blocking the way, so we have no choice but to turn around and find our first wild Pokemon. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be our first Pokemon? Make it good. If we can get it, this would be really helpful as much as I don't want Sock. He's a fighting type and we have a rock type, it covers our bases. Alright, cool. Much to my disappointment, Grover the Sock joins the team. We now have something that isn't rock type, so our coverage is nice and less bad. We'll go ahead and put Grover out in front because I can live with him dying. And also, you know, he's level 4 and Charlie's level 7, so we need to do some grinding at least. On the bright side, 2 fully evolved Pokemon, even if one of them's a single stage. From there, I put in a little work to level up Grover and discover that he actually starts with Rock Smash, as well as discover I could have gotten a second rock type from Route 1, be it this Onix or this Kabuto. Grover reaches level 5 and we pick up Double Kick, adding to our list of stab fighting moves. Then, because I forgot, I checked Grover's stats to learn that he has a calm nature, reducing his attack and boosting his special defense, and that his ability is sturdy. In any other scenario, I would have vastly preferred his other ability, Inner Focus, which prevents flinching. But this being a Nuzlocke run, having sturdy prevent Grover from being one-hit KO'd could literally be the difference between life and death, so I actually don't mind it here. I go right back to leveling Grover a bit and seeing what Pokemon are here, lamenting the fact that I couldn't get a Kabuto, and finding yet more rock types I dodged getting stuck with. Archaeops here would be a big threat, but thankfully its unique ability Defeatist means all I have to do is hit it to 50% HP and it is no longer a threat. Aside from that slight type disadvantage, we continue to discover that Route 1 is laden with Pokemon weak to fighting type, so it's going to be a very nice and easy road getting Grover up to snuff with Charlie. If you're wondering why I'm already doing a bit of grinding despite the fact that the game just started, that is because of how I approach Pokemon in general. I do my utmost to keep the entire team around the same level, so before progressing, I want to at least get Grover up to the same level as Charlie. We briefly stop back at home and, in her fractured state of mind, Mom gives us an extra Pokeball and says something about finding Pale Blood before sending us on our way. From there, we head back to Route 1 and I am swiftly stabbed directly in the heart. I'd presume after we fight, Howl again. A while? Oh, okay. I am officially upset now. I'm officially upset. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna risk it. that is a fairy steel type against a fighting type. But now I am officially upset that we missed out on something. Oh, I'm devastated now. Ah, there was 2 mono fighting types here, and one of them is my top 20 favorite Pokemon. Oh, that hurts. That hurts really badly. Now knowing that I could have gotten a different mono fighting type Pokemon from Gen 5, as well as that Pokemon being my 21st most beloved Pokemon, it's safe to say my spirits were at an all-time low. Regardless, Grover is as much a part of this family as anyone, so he's sticking with us for the time being. No use in dwelling on what could have been. With Grover now level 7, I officially make my way up Route 1 and run into our first ever trainer battle. Thankfully, we were spared a spanking because she only had a level 3 Morlul, so even with it being at a type advantage, Charlie cleans it up with 1 absorb to his name, and we find an extra potion lying on the ground and immediately go to our next trainer fight. The child had another low level, Diglett, which, again, rock type was weak to, but thankfully it didn't know a ground type move yet, so Charlie dealt with it just the same. I then take a bit of time to celebrate with some puppy to puppy communication before moving onward. For the first time, we actually run into something rock type is strong against, which Charlie of course vaporizes and reaches level 8. Before we can reach Iki Town, however, we're met with these strange people in spacesuits talking about the blinding one before they recognize I'm also not from here and run away. Either way, that does not concern me, so I'm out of here. Oh, with that slight jump scare, we pick up a Paralyze heal before opting to do a little tiny bit of extra grinding to make sure I'm ready for the tasks ahead. Annoyingly, we run into a wild Celebi with Leech Seed and Recover, giving us another jump scare after hitting Grover with Confusion, but we manage to get through it with Focus Energy scoring us a crit. Grover defeats a Psychic-type Mythical just like Charlie and reaches level 8 because of it. We briefly stop at home for a full heal, then head up to Iki Town to attend the festival. Meeting up with the Island Kahuna, he tells us about how each of the islands has a guardian and that this festival is to celebrate and give thanks to them or whatever. More importantly to our devices, we meet up with Hao, Lily, and the Professor and set up another battle between me and Hao. I'm not sure if I would prefer that he has Keldeo so I know what I'm going up against, or if his team randomizes every time. Because if his team randomizes every time, I will never be prepared for him. But if it doesn't, then all I have to do is remember he has Keldeo, and that is the problem I have to deal with. In which case I can just get like an electric type of some sort. Abomasnow. Okay. He's not leading off with a starter, I don't think. So he could still have Keldeo. The important thing is he's going to get absolutely fucking wrecked by Grover. So with that in mind, I don't think he has anything to... Yeah, there's no way. It's an Abomasnow, so he's kind of chunky, but I'm going to take a turn for Focus Energy. Ooh-ah! Lear's kind of scary going forward, but if I just kill things, I won't have to worry about my defense being lowered. Hiya! Hiya! Alright, moment of truth. Do you have Keldeo or no? Oh! spoilers! How the fuck do I deal with the Psychic Ghost type? Well, I can tell you what I can't do is use Grover, so... Bite! I have Bite! 4 times weakness to Dark. Hold on, Charlie might have this. You are here far too early. Far too early. What do you mean you got 2 legendaries, dude? Nightshade. That's the one that does damage according to level, right? Yeah. Okay, if we can get 1 more hit in without Charlie dying, we're fine. Confusion? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We're good. We're fine. Ooh, scary. Scary. Thankfully, we're still in low levels, so how having a box art legendary isn't too much of a threat. Also, and thanks to Charlie having a dark type move. Go figure, Tapu Koko thought that fight was absolute fire. Hollow rewards us with a Z ring and tells us about the island challenge. 4 islands, 4 totem challenges, 4 totem Pokemon to defeat, that's our goal. We pause before going home to chat with Lily a bit, and the freaky weirdos from before say some ominous crap. Back at home, I noticed a distinct lack of life behind our mom's eyes, and that night, she's right back to basking under the moon, so I think it's probably best we leave as soon as possible. Oh, I totally forgot to mention, when I was putting together the randomizer settings, I made it so that the Pokemon, like, encounter tables aren't time-based, so just all of the Pokemon that you can run into on a route are there regardless. I figured that might have been a good idea with the fact that Sun and Moon is weird, where depending on which game you get, that determines what time of day it is. So for example, since I'm playing Ultra Moon, even though I'm playing it at noon, it is midnight in-game, and I didn't want to have that influence the randomizer in any way. So on one hand, consistency. On the other hand, there is a wide variety of Pokemon that I can run into at any given opportunity on any given route. From there, we meet up with Lily, and she shows us the arcane technology of jumping, prevents me again from checking if Route 1 is separate from the Howley outskirts, and wanders off to the professor's lab. We then run into the Kneecaps kid, who sends out Caracosta, yet another rock type, which is swiftly defeated by Grover. Go figure. I doubt it, but maybe this will give me a new appreciation for Sock, because he's kind of carrying at this point. Next, we run into a girl and her dog, which annoyingly intimidates Charlie and makes this fight go slightly longer than it needed to. Regardless, we reach level 10 with Charlie, making our first ever double-digit level, then swiftly switch right back to Grover. Arriving at the professor's lab, he's doing God knows what with his Rockruff, and we have a brief chat about our Pokedex and Rotom, which then leads us into having our very own official Rotom Dex. From here, we now have a map that talks to us about things we just experienced, preventing us from looking at said map until he feels like letting us look at the map again, and randomly asks us questions we have to answer before we're allowed to see the map. Cool feature. Oh wow, Rotom and Rotom Dex. Whoa, the most annoying part of this video game, oh boy. Hello, Rotom Dex. Good to see you, buddy. Oh, right, the trainer's school. I totally forgot. I always remember that place specifically because you can catch Zorua at night. So since I had Moon, I almost immediately got a Zorua, and therefore Zoroark. But that's not going to be happening because it's all random. I'm good, Rotom, thank you. I just want to look at my map, please. Yep, please shut up, Rotom. I want to look at my map. Still just want to check my map, buddy. Yeah, I'm still trying to look for it. Thank you. Okay, do I pause then? How do I look at my map? Okay, I can't look at my map. Great. God, I love Rotom Dex. Finally, we're able to head back up to the trail from the very beginning, discovering that it counts as Route 1. I end up making a mistake here and end up thinking the place I caught Grover was Route 1 Howley outskirts, when it was also just Route 1. So I end up catching Mrs. Chomps the Zubat here. However, you may have noticed I skipped over catching a Pokemon in the Howley outskirts. That is because I ran into a Diglett and assumed I couldn't catch it, so I just fainted it and moved on. So Mrs. Chomps is our stand-in for that mistake. Regardless, Mrs. Chomps does not stay in our team, so it doesn't matter too much that I accidentally caught a second Pokemon from Route 1. Sue me. With our temporary new addition to the team, I spend a fair bit leveling her on Route 1, running into more Zubat, Houndour, and Bouffalant, which I'm slightly upset about, but we won't dwell on it. Soon enough, Mrs. Chomps is level 10, Grover and Charlie are level 11, and we swiftly moved on to the next story beat. We meet up with Lily and she tells us about all the amenities of the Poke Center. I load up on Pokeballs and am reminded that I need to buy them in bundles of 10, so I actually get the bonus Premier Balls, and we are once again stopped by some Jackwad and his Tauros, so we head to the trainer school. Once there, we meet up with Professor Kukui and he gives us the EXP share, which is going to make grinding just that much more convenient, and I greatly appreciate. Before anything though, we are in a new area, which means we need a new addition to the team. Before I fight literally anyone here, we're looking for a patch of grass and we're getting a 4th Pokemon, which I believe that it should just be back here to the left is where you'd usually catch Zorua. Everybody cross your fingers, let's hope we get something really, really cool. Because right now, our coolest Pokemon was our starter. At least the one that we actually caught. We've seen quite a few. Cross your fingers. 4th Pokemon incoming. Make it good. Make it really good. Really good, really good, really good, really good. It's Psychic type. We don't have a Psychic type. It's type coverage. We can now deal with Poison types and Fighting type. We have something to deal with Poison types and Fighting types. Woo! Coping by saying we needed a Psychic type, we swiftly catch the Oranguru and add her to our team. Welcome to the team, Cocomelon. We then dedicate a good portion of our time to leveling Cocomelon, running into Excadrill, Chimchar, Pineco, and all in all wondering if I got the best option out of the Pokemon in this patch of grass. Of course, I eventually run into a Ninetales, so that's definitely not the case. But hey, maybe Cocomelon will be a staple of this Nuzlocke. Maybe everyone will come to love Cocomelon. Probably not, but it's possible. Of course, if the Ninetales wasn't enough salt in the wound, while I was leveling, I did manage to bump into another Gen 1 fire type I really like, and would have much preferred. You know, if I get one turn in a double battle with Charlie and Cocomelon, I could get a 2-stage physical attack up on the first turn. You gotta think towards the future, Chathio. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean Cocomelon could have been a Moltres instead? What do you mean? I have nothing to deal with this because Charlie doesn't have a rock type move yet, but at least he doesn't have a type disadvantage. Oh, I'm devastated. Moltres is right there, and I got fucking Oranguru. With Cocomelon at level 11 and trying to learn Quash, we move on with progressing with Cocomelon in the front, taking on our first battle of the Trainer School consisting of a kid and his Doublade. Pretty scary, but it's nothing that Charlie can't handle, so he's swiftly dealt with, and we go about finding some more battles. According to our next battle, this girl's Golduck is named Bonsley, but it doesn't change the outcome. Cocomelon cleans it up regardless and earns special attack EVs. Who up drying they monkey? I then enter the school and talk to everyone, earning me a quick claw before running into this cute girl and her lovely little Metapod. Alright, next up to Metapod. What did you name Metapod? Uh-oh. A brief jump scare from a Dragon Steel type legendary, but Grover is the GOAT, so it's taken care of all the same. With that, we meet up with the strongest of the kids out in the courtyard, who sends out a Swablu named Ekans. Thankfully, it's not a Dialga, so Cocomelon promptly turns it off. I'm pretty sure I'm already overleveled because I was trying to get everyone onto the same level. This is usually what happens when I play Pokemon. I'm more concerned with making sure my team is on level with themselves than them being on level with what I'm going up against, which will probably be very helpful in this Nuzlocke. With all of the kids out of the way, we are called up to the office to meet with the teacher, Turbo Cutie Emily. You have plenty of options, Emily, as to what is good against a Lycanroc. Let's see if you actually know what you're talking about. Okay, maybe not specifically Lycanroc, but that one's pretty good. I definitely have nothing to deal with it. We'll just play it by ear. We'll see what happens. It's kind of scary. It's a little scary. I'm just gonna charge Thunder Shock from a Xurkitree. Oh, that's scary. It's fine, though. It's fine. I'm kind of tempted to taunt it so it can't charge anymore, but I'm too scared. So I'm just gonna get some damage out while I can. Worst case scenario, we lose Cocomelon, which I don't think anyone's gonna be particularly broken up over. But I will do a smart, and we're gonna switch to Charlie now, just to make sure we don't lose anyone. Does Rock resist Electric? I feel like it should. Ooh. Scary, but I'm probably... It's an Ultra Beast, it's probably... I don't know Xurkitree's, like, stat spread offhand. I'm just gonna take and assume that it's probably very fast and high special attack. Oh, but I'm faster. Alright, cool. Another big scare, but an Ultra Beast down. Let's go, Charlie! Yeah! Thankfully, Emily and her Xurkitree are dealt with, and everyone but Grover earns a level. We are then greeted by Kukui and Elma, who then informs us of the first trial before taking his leave and letting us bask in our victory at the trainer school. We then share a brief chat with Lily before running into Hala and the same Tauros that's been obstructing us this whole time. With a swift pat on the nose, the Tauros seems satisfied and runs off, letting us enter Howley City. Before we can actually catch any new Pokemon, however, we're brought into a building and given a Pokefinder. After a non-consensual tutorial for something I'll never use, we finally... Nope. We're waiting for Rotom to shut up. And okay, now we're actually going to find our 5th Pokemon. I had it in mind that I would like to get a full team in this first episode. So I'm gonna try and keep that idea and see if I can get 6 Pokemon in this here first episode. We're getting pretty close. Am I happy about 3 of the 4 Pokemon we have at the moment? Of course not. But 2 of them have shown their worth so far, so I suppose my opinions may change going forward. But right now, what I'm concerned about is getting Pokemon number 5, baby. Pokemon number 5, come on, Pokemon number 5. Make it count, baby. Give us a legendary, baby. I haven't got one of those yet. Oh, that's devastating. Oh no. Oh crap. Well, I'm sorry guys. It looks like I accidentally killed that Palpitoad, so that's so unfortunate. I guess we don't get a Pokemon from this area. That's a damn shame, really. With that tragic series of events locking us out of the shopping district, I double check that the shopping district is in fact its own area, which it is, then meet up with Lily outside the clothing store. She gives us a case of colored lenses and some makeup, and we finally get a chance to change out of our jabroni fit. Lacking the money for a haircut, we make our way down the street to the Poke Center, have a brief chat with Ilma about the funky little stickers he's been placing around, heal up our Pokemon, and discover that we could have gotten a Poplio here if Palpitoad didn't assassinate our chances of having another Pokemon I love for the time being. We run around a bit and collect some stickers before bumping into Hao at a Malasada shop, where we then are accosted by none other than Team Skull. Let's see if the Team Skull mercs are actually... I said mercs. The Team Skull grunts are actually threatening or not. My money's gonna be on no. I'm gonna commit to that and say no. Huh. Hello, the meta. Good to see you. Was not expecting you to show up today. Well, joke's on you. You don't have your BGZ learn set. Fucking Theory and Landorus, are you kidding me? I am very much hoping that getting out all of these legendaries so early on means we will run into less of them in the late game, but nature of Randomizer, there's no consistency whatsoever. Either way, after the grunts are defeated, Ilma shows up again and heals our team before challenging us to a battle of his own. Alright, Ilma, what are you going to have? I assure you it's not going to be anything as bad as Theory and Landorus. No, I want a Rockruff. Well, I mean, I have a Lycanroc, but I want a Rockruff specifically. Not that I would see a battle ever, but just, I mean, it's like my 3rd favorite Pokemon, so. Get out here, puppy. Get out of here. We are making steady progress on the level of our team, and I'm feeling real good about that. And Volbeat, were you just like up at like Route 1 before? Ms. Chomps is the only one that's like behind now, which I suppose makes sense with the fact that it's the one I spend the least time using. Get the Volbeat. Alright, come on, Ms. Chomps. Show us Volbeat why all the fireflies are dying. Alright, cool. Really showing your worth there. Confuse Ray, double team, are you fucking kidding me? You better not. Oh my god, I am so annoyed that fucking Charlie doesn't have no guard, because this is what we're doing today. Great. I should have taunted him. I should have taunted. Okay, wing attack, there. One shot? Of course not. We're just gonna push through as far as I can. Really? Okay, now hold on. We're bringing Cocomelon back out and we're taunting you because you're a little bitch. You are a disgusting little bitch, and that needs to be dealt with. Ironically, the first true problem of this run turned out to be Ilma and this absolutely rancid, disgusting, repulsive waste of code in the form of a Volbeat, running Confuse Ray, Double Team, Flash, and to a lesser extent, Tackle. This Volbeat served to prove why everyone despises it. I, of course, have nothing to deal with this sort of build that would get you booed off stage at VGC, so our only hope, ironically, is Cocomelon, because she knows Taunt. Taunt prevents the target from using status moves, meaning that this Volbeat will only be able to use Tackle instead of its spammy, cheesy status moves. The issue here is actually landing Taunt when it has a 3-stage evasion up. To think my first boss fight would be a fucking Volbeat. Okay, it has Tackle. That's 1 attack. Insane. Absolutely, positively insane. I'll do 1 more Taunt and then I'm gonna switch out. Yep. All right, switching out. We're gonna heal up Kokomon, and then we're gonna send her back out to do more taunting. Because if it keeps spamming Flash and Confuse Ray, I'm just gonna struggle my whole team to death. We're gonna get one turn where it potentially doesn't use Confuse Ray. It uses Flash, of course it does. Well, at least we're going for only a one-stage accuracy down check instead of an accuracy down and a confusion. Unless it uses Confuser right here, right? Yep. God, you are pathetic. Push through and confuse it, come on. Thank you. Okay, we can actually do something now. Let's just go with Charlie. It only has tackle now, so it can do nothing. It's just a matter of pushing through the 3-stage evasion up it's got now. One-shot wonder, you got it. Come on, Charlie. Attaboy, yeah! Fuck you and... Really? Alright, one more time, come on. You are pathetic! His taunt wore off. Run it back. Run it. Oh, well, Flash, you shouldn't have. Fuck you. Get a real job. Who the fuck at Game Freak decided that Volbeat's, like, starting learn set would be Confuse Ray, Flash, Double Team, and Tackle? That is disgusting. Another Double Team. Great. Alright, Charlie, just push through it, stupid. Thank you. That's my boy right there. God, I hope you get hit by a fucking bus, dog. Like, goddamn, you are pathetic. You are a fucking loser. If I did not... Yay! Stab! Rock type! Cocomelon carried right there. If I did not have taunt, it would be over. The only way that could have been worse is if it had like body slam or like nuzzle or something, so it could damage and also paralyze us. That's the only way it could also be worse. It could be worse. With help from Cocomelon, we spit in Elma's face and kill his putrid Volbeat, earning us the win, a level for Charlie and Mrs. Chomps, and getting Charlie his first stab move, Rock Throw. We meet up with Lily and she gives us 4 revives, which we swiftly sell for 4,000 Pokédollars and use that money to get a haircut. We won't have any need for revives because if a Pokemon faints, it's dead anyway, so that means it's money in our pocket. Now that we look presentable, we meet up with Hala and Tauros, I poke it on the nose, and we move on to Route 2. Alright, Route 2. Time for our 5th Pokemon, everyone. Let's make it a good one, baby. Come on. Make it count, baby. Shiinotic. I do not like Shiinotic, but I recognize its capabilities. Interesting. Let's see if we can get away with just throwing a Pokeball. I like starting off with that. Yeah. Wow. I am shocked. 5 for 5, throwing a Pokeball and hoping for the best. Insane. Welcome to the team, Lightbright. Lightbright the Shiinotic joins our team, and the game hits me with yet another missed opportunity to get a Ninetales, only to make it up to me with a Citrus Berry and a Wild Landorus or 2 to get Lightbright some very easy levels. He very quickly catches up to the rest of the family, learns Moonlight, and I proceed to try out our new heal tank against a Landorus, which most definitely hated every second of it. Once Lightbright is nice and leveled, we run into a pretty lady and her pet Heatran, and swiftly move on to fight a preschooler, thinking that the Heatran is the most difficult thing we'll be running into today. Dylan, you son of a bitch. What is up with the... Stop! Stop with the scary steel types. How the fuck do I deal with a Mega Scizor? Grover, you're up. You're up, big money. No, sir, I don't like that. Okay, low sweep, one shot, low sweep, one shot, low sweep, one shot, low sweep, one shot. You're fine, you're fine. Low sweep, one shot. Kill it, 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 kill it. Ooh, kill it, kill it, kill it. Don't miss or anything, just, okay. Huh. God, don't scare me like that. Oh my god. That is a bug steel type and I don't have a fire type. With that heart-stopping jump scare of a Mega Scizor, I take a brief detour to the Howley Cemetery to catch our 6th Pokemon. Which patch of grass do we want? I'm feeling right. Actually, you know what? This is at the very end of this path, but you have to, like, go off a weird path here. So this one's gonna have the good Pokemon that we want. Make it good. Come on, give me a legendary or mega. Give me your legendary and mega. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Not a legendary and mega, but that is a flying dark type with super luck. 100%. 100%. Without question. Can we go 6 for 6? Come on, I would love to have a Honchkrow. Ah! Okay, we had to fail at some point. Maybe Lightbright shouldn't be the one who's out here. Oh, actually, maybe yes, because Effect Spore. However, it is Effect Spored now, so now we will switch, because I'm not going to let Lightbright die just to have a Honchkrow. You're fine, you're fine. Chillax on me. Oh, God. As much as I don't like Shiinotic, I kind of vibe with Lightbright. Alright, I'm afraid of killing it, and I do not want to risk losing a Honchkrow, so I'm just going to make sure... I suppose it'll resist Bite. I am twice its level, though. I do have that home rule saying if I fail catching a Pokemon, I get 1 extra chance. Alright, I'm gonna hit it with Bite. I'm twice its level, but it'll resist it and I don't get stabbed. So, in theory, this shouldn't kill the Honchkrow. Yeah. In fact, we can do 1 more. Perfect. Not quite in the red, but this should be fine. Also, really thematically cool if there's a Honchkrow at the cemetery. This is our goth mommy Honchkrow. Not quite. Really playing hard to get. I suppose I could try bringing out Mrs. Chomps and hitting it with Absorb, just to be a very, very low damage, just to get into the red. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try switching to Mrs. Chomps, because it's a Zubat. I'm gonna hit it with Absorb, because it's a 20 power special move. You can take it, you're fine. Walk it off. I should be entirely safe to do this. This should do basically nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't even get into the red. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna risk another one. In fact, I could do another one. However, I haven't gotten a crit in a while, so I'm gonna assume... Okay, I'm not gonna risk switching out Mrs. Chomps, because that Pursuit's gonna do a lot of damage. That'll probably kill her if I switch out. This Honchkrow's been hitting really hard, too, even without getting crits. I wonder if she's got an attack-up nature. Yes! Yes! A second Pokemon I actually like! Yeah! Hot diggity duggy. That is so Raven. Raven the Honchkrow joins our family, and I couldn't be happier. Unfortunately, we failed the 50-50, and she has Insomnia instead of Super Luck, but we now have a Pokemon that is immune to sleep, and we have quite the powerhouse of a flying and dark-type physical attacker. Further enhancing the experience, I learned that I can exit and re-enter the route in order to respawn the ambush Pokemon in the first patch of grass. This is good, because the ambush Pokemon are a higher level than the average Pokemon in the route, so they'll give us much more experience than otherwise. With that in mind, we spend a little bit of time leveling Raven to make sure she's ready for the trials ahead, getting moderately annoyed at all of the plusle we keep running into along the way. Now that Raven is closing in on the rest of my team's levels, I head back up to the cemetery to face off against the few trainers that were up there, just to squeak out some extra XP for Raven and make sure I'm clearing out all of the trainers I can. So far, the preschoolers have been the threats here, so I'm not looking forward to whatever this little girl has. Another legendary, maybe? Nope, but it's scary. It is definitely scary. But Raven should be able to handle this. Bye-bye, funny lizard. Of course, the majority of the experience here consists of Raven absolutely washing everyone here, so just as quickly we're back down on Route 2 and headed down to Big Wave Beach, another new area. Sadly, we can't fish or surf in the water to find the Pokemon there just yet, but there is a coastal cave along the cliff face, so we can stop in there for another new Pokemon encounter. Can't go in the water, but I'm just gonna... Yeah, there we go. Alright. Sandy Cave Pokemon. Trico! Oh, that's so cool! Oh, whoa! We might replace Cocomelon with this Trico. I doubt we'll ever get the chance to Mega Evolve him, so it's a shame that we didn't just get a Mega Sceptile off the bat, but I wouldn't hate getting a Sceptile. Actually, I kind of vibe with Cocomelon. Maybe we get rid of Mrs. Chomps, because she hasn't really done anything. So we add Big Money the Trico to our team, replacing Mrs. Chomps because I technically shouldn't have her in the first place, and run into some Team Skull Grunts down on Big Wave Beach. Alright, maybe it wasn't the best to go in leading in with Big Money, but I can swap out, it's fine. The odds of them... Oh, that's a single battle, okay. I'll just have to fight them one at a time. Light Bright, need you, Light Bright. Need Light Bright really badly. Okay, effect spore. Okay, we can set up. Okay, we're gonna take this opportunity to set up because I don't fucking trust this thing. It probably doesn't have anything scary, but that is a Mega Garchomp I am not fucking with. We're gonna ingrain, we're gonna flash a couple times, and then we're gonna worry about killing it. We're gonna do that really pathetic thing that I mentioned. That's okay, you can set up Sandstorm, I'll out chip damage it, I think. Yeah, okay, so long as I don't get down to 1/16 of my HP before the Sandstorm procs, I'll be fine. I'm gonna get one more flash off and then I'm gonna start attacking him. Okay. Huh, I was not expecting that. That is our second Mega that we've had to deal with, both of which were particularly scary and I'm not fond of. Alright, big damage, big heals. We're gonna be here for a little bit. We should be healing more damage than we take so long as he doesn't crit. Especially with the Sandstorm God now. Alright, cool. You know, I can't help but notice that he's not missed me very much. Does Mega Garchomp get no guard? Is that his Mega ability? Nope, he gets Sand Force. He gets Sand Force, so despite the fact that he has a 3-stage accuracy down, he's just hitting me. It really feels like he has no guard. Oh, there we go, he missed. Okay. Huh. Jump scare, not a fan. Don't like that. Don't like that one bit. Not a fan. Yeah, okay, so that was a jump scare. Luckily, we have our Lord and Savior Lightbright, meaning we are fully prepared to deal with a Dragon Ground type. Regardless, I am taking no chances with a Mega Evolved Pseudo Legendary, so I had Lightbright hit him with that total coward strategy I had set up. After a very scary several turns, we take out the Garchomp and send Team Skull running. I noticed I'd missed a trainer on my way down to Big Wave Beach, so I went back to fight him, only to find out that he has a Hoopa Unbound spamming Destiny Bond. For those of you who don't know, Destiny Bond is a move used preemptively to your Pokemon fainting. If you successfully use Destiny Bond and are fainted in the same turn, you faint the Pokemon that killed you as well, so this is a very, very scary move to run into in a Nuzlocke run. We get through without losing anyone, Big Money gets some levels, Grover learns Karate Chop, and I briefly stop into the motel to chat with some NPCs before moving on, discovering the berry fields that I'll never use, and running into those strange space people from earlier. They consider investigating Verdant Cavern before ultimately deciding their attention is best served elsewhere and disappearing into the night. Progressing on further into Route 2, we discover that Mega Scizor is actually available on this route, meaning we could have gotten it instead of Lightbright. Regardless, Lightbright is how we got through a Mega Garchomp, so I'm not broken up about it at all. Additionally, we also run into a Mega Altaria, which I was planning on dealing with before it slept Big Money, and I decided it wasn't worth it. We soon meet up with Hao, who leads us into the Pokemon Center, which he calls a private military company for some reason, before telling us about Roto Lotto. Yeah, Roto Lotto, shut up, shut up, shut up, I want to do it, shut up, Roto Lotto. Oh look, I can open the map for once. It's not what I wanted to fucking do, but... Wow. Got 2 Roto Boosts. Oh. Can I look at my map, please? Thank you. Why? Why do you just magically decide when I'm allowed to look? Do I have to click that? Nope. Okay, nope, that pulled up my Pokedex. Alright, if I tap the bottom left corner of my map, that can work. Okay, so it looks like we haven't thus far missed anywhere we can catch a Pokemon. So it looks like Verdant Cave and Route 3 is probably next. Yeah, the next thing should be our trial, so I think that'll work. That'll work for this first episode, so I can see if people would be interested in watching a live stream of this. 4 hours in, we have a full team, and we have a pretty decent team too. We got a Rock type, a Fighting type, a Grass type, a Psychic Normal type, a Fairy Grass type, and a Flying Dark type. That pretty good stat spread. We do double up on Grass, but to be fair, Morlul's Shiinotic's more of a Fairy type than it is a Grass type in my opinion anyway. But that'll work for the first one. So here's our team. We got Big Money the Trico, who will soon be a Grovyle. We got Raven the Honchcrow, Lightbright, the Shiinotic, Coco Melon, the Oranguru, Grover the Sock, and our starter, Charlie the Lycanroc. A motley crew indeed. With our first episode coming to a close, I would like to thank you for joining me. If you've watched this far, I greatly appreciate it. Make sure to tell me in the comments who your favorite Pokemon in our team is so far. This is only the beginning of our Ultra Moon Randomizer Nuzlocke, and there will be much more to come. Again, if you'd like to see me live stream when I record new episodes, get this video up to 10 likes and leave a comment telling me if you're interested. But with that, I'm I'm going to cut this video here. A huge shout out to all of my current patrons. I love you all so much. If you genuinely enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like and make sure to hit that subscribe button to become a puppy if you haven't already, and hit the bell so it actually does something. My name's Vixie, and I will see you all in the next one.